So this is the Brothers Grove. The three amigos together again. We're all ground dwelling. We're not expecting rain, so it's just going to be back to basics. We're all using our beds to keep us off the cold earth and to keep us comfortable really, so we get a good night's kip. It's very basic camp. I don't think we're even going to put tarps up. We have got tarps just in case it rains. I don't even think we're going to bother. As I said, it's a very, very basic camp. There's my little setup, a tripod on my kit. I love using tripods. They're very versatile, they're very easy to knock up. It's just to put your kit on so you know where your kit is. Very, very easy. And the best thing about tripods is, well, one of the features with tripods is the more weight you put on top of them, the stronger they become. Ace. So there's my little bed basically for the night. That's it. So we'll come round the grove. There's all this natural water. So that's what we'll be using. We'll be boiling it first. We'll get it all boiled up so it's fit for drinking. But this place is absolutely stunning. And there's Phil Meister's bed. I don't know why he's got a double bed. Happen he's going to try and entice us with some jungle juice he's going to make. But yeah, that's Phil's bed. I think he's going to be off down the river like Huckleberry Finn later on. But I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, that's Phil Meister's bed. If we just come over here, go around. There's the firewood we've gathered for this evening. It's all processed, ready to rock. There's a fire raft there, so yeah, that's where the fire will be. And me and Phil have got a stone to sit on because they decided to bring his chair. And this is the oven I'm going to bake the bread in. Take that off. So that's going to be my oven I'm going to bake the bread in. So yeah, excellent. So that's just the oven basically. So I made a convection oven, an old Vulcanware enamel tin, and you could use it both ways because it's got this convex dome, so when the bread rises it won't touch. However, if I wanted to roast meat or whatever, turn it upside down, coals in it, oven. So yeah, very simple way of doing things. Okay, so just pop about half one of these sugar doobry halves into here. If you put too much sugar in, it'll kill the yeast. Because what's going to happen is chemical reaction. The yeast is going to feed off the sugar, and then it's going to let loads of carbon dioxide stuff go and fart everywhere. These are just 7 grams yeast you can get when you're making bread. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop the lukewarm water in to make a sugary solution. That's probably about right with my measure. Put the lid on, and then in goes the yeast. Squeezes the fingers, give that a bit of a stir. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the yeast into the lukewarm water that's left in the pot. So the lukewarm water's in there with the pot and the yeast. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to wrap it up in my jacket and a jumper to let the yeast rise and feed off the sugar. There we go. So that'll just do its thing in there. Right, so this bad boy's been here 25 minutes, 20-25 minutes, all wrapped up. So the yeast should have done its thing. 3, 2, 1. Check that out. It's like a pint of rail ale. Right guys, so what I've done is my yeast is ready to rock. I've got some, it's just very strong wholemeal flour. I ain't got a clue for quantities. If it goes in, it goes in, and we'll take it from there. That's generally the way I cook stuff anyhow, so out here it's going to be the same. Just pop it in. Yeah, that will do for now. So I'm going to add my yeast and water. Look at that bad boy. Hold it there for a sec. Bit of flour on my hands. So yeah, just getting this going together. A bit more yeast and water and sugar. Some more in, and I'm going to add some more flour. So this is just like baking bread at home, and I think there's something evocative about home baked bread. I remember being a kid and my mum she'd make home baked bread at home, and just the smell as you walked in, I think there's something special about that. It must go back to our ancestry when bread was a staple. That's coming together. Add some more of this, gets all that yeast in there. Not wasting the yeast. Okay, so all the yeast is in. I'm going to add a little bit of this lukewarm water. Right, that should be enough now. Thinking, looking at that, a little bit more flour. As I said, this is all just rack of eye, you know what it feels like. Yeah, that's bring that together. Nice. Let's get rid of them. What I am going to do is put that in there. Look at my hands. Put that in there. Bit of water. In. Water. So this for some flour in the bottom of the thing, and this tub here, this is what I used to cook everything on when I'm camping. Really, cook everything inside it, stews, everything. Water. Flour. At this stage I'm going to add, this isn't whiskey by the way, it's a slight little bit of olive oil. A bit more for good measure. There we go. Right, I'm going to knead this now. Get all the air inside here so it works with the yeast. And there's one thing, so that's elasticated now. There's one thing I did forget, my bad, is this bad boy. Get rid of that. There we go. Where are we? Some salt. Make sure I've got the right one. Probably all dried up. It has as well.
Oh, well, we're not having salt. But I've got another trick for taste anyhow. Just gets that kneaded. Flour on my hand. So I'm going to knead this for about another 5 more minutes. And then we're going to let it rise again. And I'll show you when I let it rise again, I'll show you the oven I'm going to pop it in. Bit more flour, sticky hands. That's still on. Let's have more water. So now I've got like a sticky elasticated dough. It's still a bit damp and wet, not a drama. Bit more flour. And that's the key really, just to feel, and I think most of us have seen bread dough anyhow. And we kind of know what it's like. A little bit more. So I remember Mum doing this and she wanted like an elastic sort of texture to it. That's it. A tad more. There. This is what I'm looking for now. So I'm looking for this type of texture, elasticated thing. And then in, just kneaded round it. Okay, so this is an oven that I've put together. It's just an enamel tin, but inside it there is a non-stick pan. I think it's for cakes to be honest, but a sandwich cake, but it'll do for what I need. And in the bottom of here is just 3 stones. What that will do is it'll lift this from the bottom and it'll create the airflow, a convection oven. So what I'm going to do is put this in here together. I'm going to put it by the fire so the tin warms up, and then the bread dough can go back in for 40 minutes ready to rock to rise. Okay. So we'll just put this by the fire this size and I'll get kicked. Just leave it there to warm through. I've had my pot near the fire so it's nice and lukewarm because I don't want to put my kneaded dough onto cold metal. Yeah, that's nice and warm, is that? So inside a little baking tray. This is it's non-stick, but I'm going to just put a little bit of olive oil in it as well. Just a little bit, not a lot. Because if you ever go out and you don't have a non-stick one, this is a process you'd need to be doing. So a little bit of olive oil in there. Okay. So just grease that up. Excellent. And then time to get my dough. And then I'm going to let this rise for about half an hour, 40 minutes. That'll rise in there nicely. Okay, so yet again I'm going to wrap that up into my jacket. There we go. Fleecy on top. And then that will rise around about half an hour, 40 minutes. Excellent. So this is it, the moment of truth. So it's actually been left to rise for about 45-50 minutes because we've been doing stuff around camp. So this is the moment of truth. Let's see if it's risen. Oh yes, look at that. That's what I was after. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put an X in the top of it so it rises and blooms up. Probably still rising as well, is that bad boy? Certainly is, very doughy, but hey, we're out in the field and it is what it is. Let's see what it turns out like. We'll leave it at that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pop it onto the fire. This onto the campfire. Now the idea is with this is if you saw the Pathfinder one with a damper bread, it was actually in the coals, the Keol ashes that we did. The smoke's going in my face, I'll just move. Okay, so what we did was, we did that way. With this, it's slightly different technique because of the bread that we're making. So the idea now is to have 20% of the heat at the bottom of the oven and 80% on top, because heat rises through. So that's the idea. So what I'm going to do is just put the coals on top. Now I'm going to leave this. At home I think you'd leave it for around 40-45 minutes. Because we're out here, I'm going to leave it for around about 50 minutes to an hour. Get some coals from down here. Come here. I think that will do for now. Just put that back on. I'm going to leave that now. Now this is a bit of a science, is this, because I need to regulate the heat as well. So I've got some coals here, well, some wood ready to go for coals. So it's a continuous process while the bread bakes. Right, this is a moment of truth. This has been on for about an hour and 10 minutes now. So let's go. Get rid of some of these bad boys. There we go. Put that now. I'll need them in a second. Oh yes. Let's have a look at this. Now that, to me, hear that on the camera, that to me looks pretty squared away. Oh, spiders, that's the nuts. And that is Rick Law's bread cooked on an open campfire. Check that bad boy out.